Hello and welcome back to episode 5 of What If Civilization Started Over, Waves Alternate History of WICSO. And today in episode 5, as I said, we're gonna see a lot of things happen. And one main thing, I won't spoil that yet, but I hope you like it, hope you enjoy it. Leave a like and a comment, that would help me a lot. And if you want, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just the one click for you guys and it really helps me. And now let's start with the video. First off, we're gonna start in Canada, where we see the green Canadian country expand their border greatly and further deeper into Canada. And maybe you can guess what episode this is, but this is going pretty good. And then the orange Alaskan Canadian team also moves in, trying to get as much land as they can before they need to go to war. I don't know why they go down here, but I guess. So they're just gonna go up, move into the country, just take as much land as they can. And now as they meet at the border, they're gonna have a meeting down in the city of the Dutch team to discuss how they split the land, and they find a solution. So now we're gonna see I don't know, not a peace treaty, I don't know what's called, but they're gonna split the land peacefully. And this will be the final border. The orange team got definitely more land, especially on the top right here, than the Canadian country, but well, it's like this, and we can't change anything about it. The Dutch team also tries to claim much more land, even though they're crippling under the empire right now, especially in America. In Africa, it's a bit better, but in America, we already saw the breakaway of 3 countries, and one other will follow soon. So they are gonna take more land and more land for themselves, just taking it. The Alaskan team tries to work with it. Where's human diversity? No, well, and tries to get more land, but the Dutch team says, "Hey, stop right there, or we're gonna invade you." So the Alaskans stop, and the Dutch team just says, nice, thank you for giving me all this beautiful new land, and just takes it. But I don't like the border, so we're gonna just clean them up. Wait a minute. So this will be the new borders of West America, and it's, I think it's look good. And we just see we're just gonna see one tiny major thing happening down here, and we see the Mexicans breaking away from the Dutch team. As said, the Dutch can't just really do anything about it. They get supported by these two, by both the American countries as well as by this country down here and New York. Yeah, and so now we have a Mexican country that's really destroying the. But I mean, they still have access to the Pacific, so it's not really that deep for them. So they can just go like ship here, drive here, ship here, because there's no Panama Canal right now. But little law drop, this country continues the work of the Romans, because as you know, the Romans built the Suez Canal here and the Panama Canal. They started it also right here, and this new Panama country picks up the work from the Romans and continues the canal in hopes for a better trade, because the Dutch team doesn't need to, if they want to trade to Japan, they don't need to go like this or this. They can just simply go, or this, they need to ship here, cross here, and ship down here. They can just ship here, go through here and here, because here is always faster than, or they can just generally go down here, here, and down here, but they need to pay a lot more here, and here to ship to India, so to Asia. So it's not really worth it at the moment. But if the Suez Canal is finished, it's a huge part for trade, huge investment, especially for trade and such things. Then we're gonna see all the countries down in South America expand their borders, especially the African Union. After just winning this war, they're gonna expand their colony in South America. One of the few, I think the only colonial power that is African. I think all other colonial powers are European. So the only non-European colonial power expand the borders, but not too deep. I mean, there's a lot of rainforest down here, so it's a lot of wood for them. So it's really good for them because they don't have really much wood. They need this. This colony also expand the borders, and this pink country also starts expanding the borders, disconnecting this light blue team from the Venezuelan team from freelance, so they can just keep getting it. And now that Ireland is also there to expand their borders to don't fall behind the other major powers. they're gonna hold a meeting in a neutral country. I think this would be France. Or maybe not. I think maybe this Venezuelan country. They're gonna hold a meeting there to split up the remaining of. So they're just gonna hold a meeting, and yeah, we see what this splitting of the country looks like right now. And this will be the new border there. And this will be the new borders of South America. The African Union got a bunch of of rainforest, or I don't know what's called. It's still a rainforest of Brazilian rainforest for the precious wood. These two countries got to expand a little bit. Mainly, these got to expand hugely, greatly, and the Ireland got a huge portion of the eastern coast of South America. Now gonna go to Australia. Now I'm gonna go to Australia because the Dutch actually made a naval landing in the uncolonized lands. This, if you're thinking this Indonesian green country, why didn't it expand down here? It said that this land is holy and no one should touch it because there are bad spirits living there because of the animals. This is basically hell on earth where the damned souls can live in peace under their own people with the poisonous animal and such things as their spiritual souls. But the Dutch nevertheless make a landing and just take everything with a huge portion insanely land. It's just taking whatever is there. But the Chinese also now on the spirit are gonna go through this yellow country and just take the rest of this entire island, just taking it everything and just claiming Asia as their own because they're Asia's main player and just taking island after island. I don't know why are they fucking, I don't know. Okay, not necessary. And now they're also landing in Australia in the SIP and just moving in, taking everything they see. And yeah, the Green country is really pissed about it, but what they're gonna do. And they're just gonna speed run the shit. Dutch also try to take a bit of land, but they ultimately stop because they're getting way too huge. But the Chinese are still able to just rush through the lands and just take everything for them as they see this as a great opportunity. But Ireland also lands down here, and before China could take it, they took the land. And I don't like how this looks, so I'm just gonna clean it up. Wait a minute. And this will be the new borders of Australia. We also see that China took New Zealand. There are also major cities. I don't know why are there major cities. I don't know, man, bro. This map is cursed. And we see that they really cleaned this border. So the Chinese really want clean borders, definitive lines. But the Dutch and the Irish know how to colonize properly. But I don't know how to colonize. And so they just made funny looking borders that look like something not like a straight line. And this will be the new borders of Australia. It looks pretty clean, I must say. And now you can zoom out and look at this beautiful filled in world map. Wait. Now we can look at this beautiful filled in world map. Wait. Now we can zoom out. And look at this beautiful filled-in world map. And the world is not mostly colonized, so they are pretty late on colonizing the whole world. Because there's just the World War I just broke out, and these countries, the winners of World War I, were not prioritizing colonization besides the Iberians or Galicians, but they were quickly kicked out, and the rest just broke apart. So we don't have any colonizers in North Africa, but in South Africa we have still two major colonizers. This North and South America both still have colonizers in them, but we will see how this will be going after a bit of time. So now back to the old empire. They're gonna go on a conquest to fulfill their dream of a Mesopotamian empire, or old empire. It's like a whole of all of Mesopotamia, and therefore these two Yemen countries are included. So they're gonna start the invasion of this lower country, just speedrun this major city, and after this they're just gonna ramp it up, push all sides, and just it's a mess. They're gonna speedrun the capital and instantly capture it. And after the capital falls, the other Yemen country, thinking that they're just gonna get away with this, they also run into the country and try to capture as much as they can. But the old empire is severely stronger and quicker, and they just take the rest. And now we can look at a peace treaty between these two because the old empire wants to play a bit with the next. Let's look at a peace treaty, and this will be be, well, these will be the new borders of the old empire and this Yemen country. But not for long, I can tell you this. The old empire just moves their troops into this major city, or these troops, they are still stations, they're moving in and they just declare war. They move in from here, instantly capturing this major city, and from there on out, they're just gonna speedrun at the coast, going down, capturing this major city, and from the top, they're also speedrun at the coast, going down to the capital, capturing the capital, and this country surrenders immediately after all their mainland falls, and the old empire just takes everything. Yeah, and this is a new Mesopotamian or Arabian land. Going to Norway, they're also going on a little conquest to Sweden. They're gonna send their armies in, capturing this major city, and after this major city falls, the Sweden is gonna contact all the countries that border Norway and say we need help. But none of these countries respond, so they need to defend themselves. They want to live, they want to be a free country, but at the end, the Norwegians are way stronger than them, so they capitulate, and the Norwegians just take everything and annex them completely. The next thing on the list will be this small, I don't know, West Swedish country. Yeah, it instantly folds, capitulates, and you can guess, yeah, they also get annexed. And this is new Norway. Looks beautiful, finally. So, and now we can go on to the main thing of this video, the Dutch Empire. The Dutch, after winning the Second World War, they now have much more, they think they're much better than everyone else, so they're just gonna try to get their old lands back. First with asking, yo bro, give up, give you our lands, our people, we want you back in our empire. But they generally say no, so they're gonna start 2 invasions, one from down here and one from here and one from here. And guess what? Both invasions fail horribly. They get completely crushed, and the Dutch can't even make another naval landing because they're just blockaded and they can't even enter the lands. Maybe they get supported by another major country, but I don't know what this country could be. And we see that the Dutch sending more and more troops into the land, into the waters, trying to capture the British Isles back, but they're just way too weak for this. And then we see a pretty interesting event happening, and that is the creation of the Diamond Alliance. That is just the British Isles all combined. It looks horrible. So we have the Diamond Alliance, that is just a collision of all the British Isles, of the entire British Isles that were once colonized by the Dutch. And now that this is happening, on all the other continents, they see that they can actually rise up against the Dutch, and the Dutch have no control of it. And so we see a bunch of uprisings around the globe, and we're gonna look where they are. So first we're gonna see this, I think this was California, breakaway from the Dutch, the first country that breaks away, the newest colony, as you see in many major cities, but just zoom in for a better picture. And this is the first country that's gonna break away from the Dutch and invade the Dutch. So they're just gonna move their troops to the border and just move them into the Dutch country. There are not many troops stationed here as of this moment, as they need to reorganize, and generally also most of them are still in Europe because of the fight because of the Second World War that was fought only a short time ago. But now they're needed otherwise. So the Dutch kingdom needs to recruit more and more troops, more and more young people to fight for them in this colonial war, the Great Uprising, as it's called in the future. The colonial powers are struggling immensely to keep their colonial claims secure under their control. So we see the first one uprise against the Dutch, and they're doing pretty good. They're not losing any land as of now, but they're just speed running through the Dutch land, just taking everything and securing their borders against the Dutch. And it looks really good for them right now. Just spreading around, and now we see another uprising happening, and that is the gold team, not the gold team actually, but the American gold team also break away and is now also claiming their lands, the lands of the people that they inhabit, and that the Dutch are not the rightful owners of this land because they just tax the shit out of them for the war, just like the Dutch, just like the English did. And they instantly take a major city away from the Dutch, which is a huge win and boosts the morale of the whole continent to fight against the Dutch. And I can probably say without this major city taking, there wouldn't be the next uprising, and this war could have drifted another way, or the land could have formed in another way. But the next uprising was fired on by the taking of this major city, and that they could genuinely win this war, this uprising, this great uprising against the Dutch. So this huge country is gonna break away from the Dutch, huge part, a lot of provinces breaking away at once. Oh, not that much. And also this major city with a lot of provinces around. And it looks like this is the second largest breakaway actively fighting the Dutch as of now. We see them pushing out of their uprisings, just taking everything. And then you also want to make a success like the gold team, pushing for this major city and just generally just destroying the Dutch team completely. I wonder why this was small, but I was a 5-man. Normally do a draw on 10, so double the size. So now they're just gonna speedrun this whole shit. They're just gonna take everything down here and just take everything for them. It's I think it's the most powerful because this area is way more developed than this area, and they're just small forces, but also they can start to take the land completely, and with the help of some forces down here and from here, they can generally just get their independence way faster than without their help. And this will also spark up the next revolution that is happening, and it's not on this continent, so they have pretty much good control over this and over this, but this is new land, and also this is a pretty unstable land because there's a breakaway on the wall. But this is not on the American continent. We're gonna go over to Africa, and we're gonna see another breakaway happening down here, and this is this light pink country breaking away under Tanzania, probably fueled by Tanzanian weapons and supported by Tanzania, but they're just gonna break away, wanting to be free. And yeah, it's working really well. They also start instantly invading into the country, into the Dutch kingdom, because this area is really well developed in terms of African countries. This is probably more of the stronger developed countries. Mainly all of South Africa is really strong developed. I mean, with these are also strong developed because of the major cities. There's just a lot of people here. These have way better technology than these countries, but the African Union obviously supports all of these countries, so they're almost equally, but this is more like a self-sustaining thing, because if the African Union breaks, then the other countries will also break. But this first country that's gonna break away. Then we have this small kind of purple country breaking away from the Dutch. Actually, they're just gonna complete all this down here, and also up here and down here. And they're also gonna start their invasion of the Dutch, wanting to be free, and it works as well really good because the Dutch are completely overwhelmed by the amount of troops that are breaking away, or countries that are breaking away at once, and they're just fucked up really hard. Then another country breaking away in Africa, this time a really large one. This is this, I don't know what's called. I think it's Angolan or Namibian. I think it's Namibia down here. I don't. It's right on the border. I think the border goes like this, if I remember right. So it's more like now it's more like a Namibian country, and they're just an entire coast down here that's gonna spread around, taking they're actually overwhelming a lot of forces of the Dutch, and this breakaway looks like this. And they also have a lot of success in taking land away from the Dutch, and actually they're the most successful in Africa at this moment because they're just freaking huge, and I'm saying that they're successful. And at last we have the Madagascan country also writing against the Dutch and just generally breaking away really fast, really hard, and the Dutch can't quite make anything about it besides their main base up here that actually took from the Brazilians. So it's like it's the most stable thing, but it's not even theirs, so it doesn't really look good for them. And they also instantly push in, but this time it's really just one-sided because they're just gonna take everything and instantly say to the Dutch, okay, we're gonna stop, we just want Madagascar and you can keep the rest, we don't even want these islands. But the Dutch say, hell no, we're gonna keep our claims over this land, this is our land, and basically says fuck you, which the Madagascans say okay, fuck you. And then we have, I think, the last breakaway at this time, and this will be the also new continent colonized, and this will be wait. Oh fuck. And this will also be this blue Australian country that was in the original WICSO also, and it was the counterpart to the red Australian WICSO that actually won major war that won the war against them. So it's and also this huge part down here that is like a sacred community. This is wow, this looks really bad, really trippy. So this is the uprising. it's spread around the whole continent, and see what this will look like in the future. They also instantly push out, especially the community, because they're very, very aggressive. But they can work out with the main rebel forces up north. There's here and here, and they can communicate and say, yeah, okay, we stay as a rebel and create the Australian independent government to defeat the colonizers and be the first official Australian country on the world. But well, these are just left out because they're technically seen as Indonesian. But yeah, they're just gonna move in and actually instantly taking this major city with some propaganda, and from then on it's just taking everything. There are not really many forces down here at the moment because there's it's just there were not really many people down here, so there were not it's not necessary to put a lot of forces down here because there will not not really be uprising just yet in the future. So they will put the troops in the future there, but yeah. Also just rampaging and taking everything in. And now the Dutch Empire is in a total war against their colonies, and all the colonies actually join the Diamond Alliance to fight this independence war against the Dutch. And all these countries are joining the Diamond Alliance against the Dutch to fight off colonialism. Yeah, I mean, it's really obvious. So, without further ado, the Dutch are finally crumbling under their own power. Let's get back to Europe then. The Dutch finally made a landing and is now jumping these countries, capturing this major city and also this major city instantly now, because they actually got their things up. Even with the complete power of this, they're just really not as strong as the Dutch at this moment. Dutch is one of the strongest countries in the world right now. They are currently crumbling. I mean, we have the old empire is pretty strong, but in the beginning phase only now. The African Union is pretty strong. I think the African Union is at this point a bit stronger than the old empire. No, not really. I think they're a bit weaker, but than the old empire. The old empire is pretty strong right now. Then we have the Irish. They are pretty trade influential, so they are not really army strong but trade strong. Then we have China, which is the strongest country in the world right now, I would say. Then we have India, who's also really strong, and these are the countries. Russia also, but not really at this moment because they need to recover from the war first and control the cities. Yeah, these are the strongest countries right now. Also, we have New York. This is pretty strong right now compared to what they usually are. So, but they are landing here, completely eradicating all this land. Taking everything for themselves, pushing up here, disconnecting these two, disconnecting this, pushing up here, taking Emilian, taking everything, trying to push to the capital. But after this, really seems hopeless, and all troops are currently shipped to Europe, to United States and Africa to defeat the uprisings against them. But this will make another nation join the cause and defeat the Dutch, mostly for their own good. And these are, and the countries that are joining, you can see in the road here, it's Ireland, who's definitely way stronger than these countries all combined, so they can easily push the Dutch back because the Dutch didn't expect Ireland to join the war. And also Scotland joining the war. But this is more like, okay, everyone here is joining the war, so we can also join and maybe get something out of it. So Ireland joins the war, and immediately they push into Greenland, which they completely take for themselves. And also they make a naval landing in Iceland, taking this, pushing down, capturing this major city. And from there on, they're just moving around, capturing this major city, then completely taking this land and pushing up the coasts to this major city, capturing this, and then just completely taking the whole island. And from there on out, they're gonna send aid down, sending troops down, pushing back the Dutch slowly but surely. It's getting better for them. The Dutch losing more and more ground to the country, to them. And this country is also on the way to get recreated, I think. So I don't know what's called. But these countries are also back on the track, taking this major city and now completely kicking out the Dutch again. And this is really embarrassing for the Dutch that they can't even invade the British Isles, as I think that they're the strongest country in the world right now, which they obviously aren't. China is, as I said, because China is freaking massive at this point. Anyway, now with the new help, they're getting more and more help, so the uprisings push even deeper into Dutch territory, capturing this major city and pushing down the coast. And the Dutch can't really do anything about it because they need to retreat their troops from America to defend the Irish in case of an invasion, because they don't have enough troops in their homeland to defend an invasion of the British Isles, which is really embarrassing. Generally, this is really not really interesting at this point because they're just sweeping through the lands, just taking everything that they see for themselves. And Dutch want to negotiate with the American colonies to say, yeah, you can have your lands, take the uprising a bit more, and then we can just stop. But these lands, they want Dutch free America. They're just gonna invade even more into the lands. And now it really does not look good for them. And at the same time, see another major event happening. I also know which we just need to. These countries also expand even more, capturing this major city, and also this major city. It goes down here. Then we have trying to push to this major city. See, they're only going to for major cities because it's the most valuable thing that you can have right now. Because a lot of resources are not digged up right now here. So they're just gonna push more here, and also here they're gonna push even deeper. And Madagascar sends some troops for help because they don't need any help anymore. And we also have, who thought it, the Irish joining the cause in Africa and defeating the Dutch, even though they're also colonialists. But I mean, who cares at this point? The Irish are pretty nice to their people, and it's more like still Irish, but it's like, you know, it's colonial, but not as hard and as punishing as the other colonial powers were. So it's generally really good. But now heading to North America again. We have another uprising. We have not an uprising, we have an actual war. The American country declares war on the Southern American country because why not? They think that this land belongs to them and is really pissed about the Dutch that they didn't just give them all of this land. So they're just gonna, in the chaos, they're just gonna invade all this land for themselves, trying to take everything before the Dutch can even react. I mean, the Dutch have way huger problems right now than dealing with this. But this was planned all along because this was planned all along because New York is also joining the war against America with the Southern Americans, and America did not expect this. And New York is not really weak at this point. They're pretty well developed, and they can make huge advancements into America. And this is really not good for America, as they instantly target the capital. America gets pushed back, losing this major city, and also almost losing this major city, losing a bunch of ground down here. But they need to relocate their armies. They can stop this advancement up here, but also they lose a bunch of land up to this push, and also lose this major city. And also they make a naval landing from here to here, landing here, and also pushing down here. This looks not really good for them. The Southern Americans push up almost to the border, now recapturing all the lost major cities from the Americans, and now it really does not look good for them. The Americans push back this push, recapturing this major city and splitting this in half, but this is not really important because New York is gonna completely occupy this part. I don't know what's this called, but they push up here, taking as much land as they can and taking this major city. Also, they push back here a little bit, but not as much. And the Southern American, actually, there goes. Completely push out the Americans, and with the precise counteroffensive they capture this major city and also start to push to the capital immediately. Also they push this major city and capture it, and also this major city and also capture it. So the Americans are pretty fucked right now. They also start offensive to this major city right now, and it all seems really good for the Southern Americans as they just build their front lines to keep the push coming. So and the Americans need to react. They push back this push completely to the front, recapturing mostly everything on this front, but they lose a bunch of land, not really necessary land, but they lose a bunch of land to the west, to the southern country, but it's not really working. And New York can reconnect their front, recapturing this major city, and also start another push to the capital, but a more precise, capturing this major city almost. And also they push up a lot up here, mostly because there are not really any troops up here, and I think they're pretty fucked right now. America pushes back this front a little bit, but not as much as they did before. Also, they push up here, trying to make anything work up here, but it's not really working because they're not taking anything major. But they're able to make a counteroffensive down to South America and push down here, disconnecting this part, completely taking it, and now starting a push to the capital. But they are quickly stopped because emergency. New York also starts a huge offensive to stop the Americans from capturing the capital of this country, and they're able to almost completely take the capital because it's a huge fight right now. It's, I think, the most brutal fight in WICSO history, also in my WICSO history, I would say. And the Americans need to retreat from South America, from South USA, completely losing all this land. They also need to disconnect this part so New York can easily take it. And now they only need to push up here, and slowly but surely America is gonna collapse. They can retake the capital and one major city, but it's not enough. The South USA comes from the bottom, and slowly but surely America loses more and more ground on all fronts. And finally, after a long fight, they reach the capital, and the so-called president, that's more like a dictator again, because this is like a dictator era, is gonna now kill himself again. So all dictators kill themselves eventually. Gold Team, what's the dictator killed himself too? I think the king in Galicia killed himself. Let's see. So they're gonna lose this war, and now this is time for a peace treaty between these two. Let's see how this will go. And these will be the new borders of North America. It's they're completely get wiped out from the map, and this alliance will also be deactivated. This alliance also will be deactivated and completely eradicated. So with this out of the war, out of the way, the new USA will join the war on the side of the Diamond Alliance because they want to free the world from Dutch colonialism, as I say. And let's see how this will go. They immediately push in, way stronger than all the colonial uprisings, miles stronger because they have also Dutch equipment, and immediately take Florida, not California, and take this, completely eradicate this, and just keeps on pushing in. New York will not take part in this because they do not want any more land, and they were just in a war. They don't need any more wars right now. It's the last thing that they want. But the new America wants violence at war and eliminate any Dutch ground in the Americas. So they're just gonna help. Down in Africa, it looks even worse for Dutch. They lose even more ground to the African forces and even lose this major city. Angola or Namibia, one of the two. I think Namibia more is also pushing even deeper into the continent, capturing more and more land, farmland, suitable land to farm, small minor cities, and this is a major city also. And it just looks horrible for the Dutch. And it comes to a close call. The Dutch actually sent an ultimatum to the Irish, believing that they are the main protagonists in the alliance, but it's not. It's actually these 5 countries are the main actors in the alliance, and they need to go to them and say, okay, stop, please. We want to negotiate, but these countries say there's nothing to negotiate. Just give us what we want, and we will leave you alone. And the Dutch, seeing that all their colonial lands crumble, have nothing else to say but, okay, let's get to a peace treaty. And that is also what we're gonna do now, going to a peace treaty and seeing what this will look like. This is the new North America. Obviously, all the countries left the alliance and are now on their own paths. Not really strong, but this is gonna be a great way to develop all these new nations. And I hope you like the new borders. I think they look better than I originally draw them, and this will not really change much. Just some tweaks to make it look better, because for this, California had not this part, but this part, and America had not this part, but this part. But look, it doesn't look really good because it's like sticking into the middle of the country or the continent, and it doesn't really just look good. So we have it like this at the moment. I think it's way better. And let's see what the other continents look like. And this will be new South Africa. We see like the Dutch actually keep controlling a lot of islands that they have taken, but the mainlands like Africa, we see new African lands being established. Madagascar, what is called? I don't know. Mozambique, I think, and much more, which are new countries. Yay! And finally, also all the Diamond Alliance. And last one, we have Australia also leaving Diamond Alliance and getting completely independent and just having a horrendous good time. And this is now the new world. We have a lot of lot of new countries that are now free, and also the Irish take all of this land up here from the Dutch, and also these both leave the alliance, and it's pretty damn bad for the Dutch now, because they have lost a lot of valuable land. If they didn't attack, they probably would still collapsed, but way better than this. They got completely destabilized. But now we can look at another thing, and this is the alliance. They have now a meeting if they just should keep the alliance up to protect against any foreign invaders, or just merge friendly. This the important thing about that, merge friendly into one country, into one British country, and the votes fall. The blue country votes for unified British Isle or London area. The green country votes also for unification. This Cornwall country votes against it. This lighter British country votes for unification, and this country also votes against the unification. So we have 3-2, and the votes fall. As we saw, a unification will be made, and let's see what this will look like. And this will be the new British country. Blue, I think that's the best for the contrast. And yeah, I think this looks pretty good. I don't know what else to say about it, but this is gonna do it for today's video. It's mostly centered around the Dutch, but I hope you like it. I don't know how long it would be, but I hope you liked it. Thank you so much. Leave a like and a comment again, would really help me. It's just a few clicks or one click for you guys. Thank you so much. Leave a follow if you like, or subscribe to my channel for better context. And check out the things I pinned down in the description, or made some links in the description. One for the official WICSO Discord server, and one for my Discord server. Thank you so much if you watched to this point. Hope you have a great day, wonderful day, and I see you all in the next episode, episode 6. This will blow you up. Episode 6 will, I think, really good. It will be really good, or it will be a full episode. I don't really know yet. I have to see. It will be an interesting episode. I hope you like it. And thank you so much for watching again. I'm gonna see you in the next episode. And till then, have a great time, and bye.